Hello, my name is Alexis, and in this video I'm going to be talking about reward modeling using Unsloth. Unsloth has many ways to use machine learning training tools, and in this video I'm going to be talking about two different reward modeling policy methods that you can use with Unsloth. ORPO and DPO. So this is from Unsloth's documentation, and it provides some examples that you can use and some starter notebooks. So this is what I followed generally when I was making my own notebook. And so DPO stands for direct preference optimization. Policy or preference, they're both meaning the same, and it refers to how the model is learning to reward different patterns when training, and odds ratio preference optimization. There's other methods as well, and in this first notebook I'm going to be showing you DPO strategy, the direct preference optimization strategy, and like I said, it refers to adding information to the training stage when you're training a machine learning model or neural network using processes related to like Markov processes of reward learning complex tasks given a state or trajectory. So it does this by altering the loss optimization function using the DPO strategy. So you would install Unsloth, and I'm using a Google Colab environment. It already has compute GPU, CPU necessary to run it. The DPO trainer is necessary as well, and the fast language model to load a model from HuggingFace. This is similar to the other videos that I've talked about during training, pre-training, continue training, continue pre-training. You load a base model with the LoRa adapters. It allows faster training since it's using a subset of the entire model to train. And then you load the data set that you're using, and specifically with DPO, you need to have a specific template, and it can get very complicated as shown here. This is like what is a part of the alignment handbook for HuggingFace's Zephyr model. So if you're using a different model, you could probably use a different template that is aligning with that model and the way it was trained. So since this template was already provided, it shows you a lot of the different ways that you can format your chat template, and it can be as complicated as this, or it can be a little bit simpler as long as the data is formatted in a way that the template can import the data. So after you have the template, then you can apply the data set into that template and then format the data set using the template, and then use that chat template formatted data set to train the model. The data set that Unsloth used to demonstrate was ultra feedback, and this is a DPO data set, so it's formatted in that way necessary to go along with the chat template. If you try using a different data set, it will probably need a lot of changes made to the chat template, since the chat template is kind of made for that data set. It also handles like creating the validation the training, and then after you map the data set with the template, create the subset data sets, mix them, sample them, split them, then you can train the model, and then this is where you put in the hyperparameters, and this training stage is a lot different than the pre-training or fine-tuning. It has metrics related to DPO, like the rewards that were chosen, the rewards that were rejected, the reward accuracies, margins, log PS, logits, and then after training you can upload the model to HuggingFace so you can continue training or continue the reward modeling later on. And then for ORPO, this is in a separate notebook, ORPO strategy. This is a similar strategy, however it's different because it's not necessarily necessary to align to a certain model. The chat template is a little bit simpler, and so I can use my own model. I use the Quen model that I had fine-tuned previously, and then I just load the LoRa adapters, and then I picked the Zora code preference pair dataset since I wanted to use a dataset to train on coding, so I can have a model that understands code. And as you can see, the chat template here is much simpler, and the formatting is also much simpler. So ORPO is a little bit easier to use a variety of data sets on. It seems like DPO needs a lot more editing in the chat template and formatting in the data set. So you would have to give it only 3 different columns, whereas in DPO you would need to have way more columns, it seems, like the rejected, the chosen, the instruction, and yeah. ORPO, it looks like, is more related to like conversational models that use data that is taken from actual conversations using the model. So it's using a model's already made conversations to train itself on conversations that users liked and didn't like, whereas ORPO is just on the data itself. So there's much more data in the DPO strategy versus the ORPO, where the ORPO is mostly related to the actual data, and DPO is more related to like chats with the model itself that has already been trained on the data. And then this is where you use the ORPO trainer to train using the ORPO strategy. And then it has similar training metrics as in DPO, since both are reward training strategies. And then I uploaded the model to HuggingFace. And then after you upload the model to HuggingFace, you can evaluate it by using LM Studio. And for example, I'm using the model that I made here with ORPO, and I used it to answer some questions related to SQL and C# that were taken from LeetCode, and it did a really good job. And since I also fine-tuned it using the Alpaca Spanish dataset, it was also able to conversate in Spanish and answer the coding questions in both written and code responses, and mostly did a really good job. There was not many cases where the code that I provided didn't work. So yeah, I think this was a really good experience using Unsloth to train the model using ORPO and DPO. Thank you for watching.